Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome, 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 welcome. Go ahead and like, love, and share. Let somebody know that we are on. This is the Boss Lady Movement. And of course, I am the Boss Lady. We are here bringing other sisters into success. And I am super duper duper excited about tonight's session. If you have been with us, let me turn this down a little bit. If you have been with us, we have been enjoying some really good discussions and conversations, and it continues on this evening, even as we are continuing in the month of February with the topic of discussion, love doesn't hurt. And so with that being said, we've been talking about emotional healing, the importance of it, the fact that love truly doesn't hurt. What an awesome day to talk about these things, of course, with this being what's considered Love Day. And so with that being said, I'm super, super, super duper excited because we have someone special on this evening. Last week, I had one of my cousins. This week, I got another one of my cousins on. I am so super excited because I'm telling you guys, I recognize the fact that God has blessed us all in unique ways. And I'm just so excited about the love that He has shown forth towards us and the fact that He has given us all unique tools, resources, abilities, anointing to be able to do the work that He's placed in us, on us to be able to do for His glory. And so with that being said, we are continuing our discussion. I see y'all coming in. Hey, mama, y'all go ahead, speak to me. I see you, Yolanda, Whitney. Welcome, 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 Butterfly. I just love it. I'm going to have to get you on here for something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I need to get you on here, girl, because you just be blessing my heart all the time. But I want to make sure that we have the tools, the resources that we need in order for us to be able to progress. Of course, this is the Boss Lady Movement. What is a boss? We are here bringing other sisters into success. So whatever's been hindering you, whatever's been holding you bound, whatever way, shape, form, or fashion, you have not been able to move beyond whatever the situation or circumstances are in your life. We are simply here as vessels, as guides to help bring the blessings that have helped us along the way, share them with you so that you too can be able to progress. It's about all of us progressing and prospering together. And so with that being said, I got a special gem for y'all tonight. I'm super, super, super excited. Hey, Mary Scamp, I see you, lady. Thank you for popping on. That means a lot. That means a lot. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's another boss lady. I'm going to get you on here too. But I want to just take a moment to introduce you guys to this special woman of God. Look, we share some of the same things. We're in the same family, of course. You guys already know that. We share the same birthday, except she got me by a year. We share the same deep yearning and passion, of course, for the things of God, for Him, for serving. We share so many different things in life, and it's been such a blessing. We've shared some ups, we've shared some downs. Look, I know that when push come to shove, this one right here is just a text or a phone call away. And so with that being said, God has blessed me with so many gems in my life, but there are some that you just hold near and dear to your heart. And then this season, I have been so blessed to have this one with us. So let me tell you a little testimony before I bring her on. I've been going through I will say that I've been going through life's journey in this season of my life. I've been going through life's journey. I'm here just like everybody else, and I'm learning and I'm taking the things that I'm bringing to you guys, the blessings that I've received, and I'm sharing them with you, but I'm learning. I'm being taught at the same time. I was in my room one day and I was having a moment. And you know how God will bless you with something at a particular season of your life, and you may not feel like you need it in that season. But it just so happened in that moment, for some reason, I don't even know how, but I'm sitting at my desk and this book was sitting right here on my desk. In that moment, I picked up the book and I opened it. And when I opened the book, it was so amazing, because not that I hadn't read the book, but there was some things in it that made me see me, and it was really ministering to me in that specific moment, in that place that I was in. And I started to go through the book again. So you know how, just like when you read the word of God, when you read it one day, it may speak to you in one way, but then when you read it another time in the season that it's intended for, look, this thing has blessed my everlasting soul and has literally gave me back some. Look, it was a day that I felt like the wind was being knocked out of me. I felt like I could literally breathe again as I was reading this, and I began to see myself, and I began to understand some things, and I began to realize in the season that I'm in that I wasn't crazy, that the things that I was experiencing and the things that I was dealing with in my life and in that situation, that it was natural, it was normal. And reading this book is called Bruised Hearts and Fractured Souls. And this right here, this portion right here is the main thing. Identify the root. This book right here, the blessing that I'm holding in my hand, if y'all don't have it, I'm going to encourage you, because I'm not reading everything out of this. We're going to talk about it tonight, but this is such a blessing. It doesn't matter where you're at. All it matters is if you can recognize some pain that you're dealing with and that you've yet to move beyond. This book right here, this gem, it fits in your purse. I have been carrying this book in my purse, y'all, purposefully, on purpose, for a reason, because when I need it, it's right there. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you. It don't matter what we're going to talk about. It. Anyways, the gem, the woman of God, the wife, the mother, my first cousin, another one coming on through tonight, y'all. Prophetess, look, woman of God, spoken to my look. I could go on and on. I'm not playing with y'all tonight. I gotta bring her on here. Miss Kay Leavell Ford, come on through here. I'm gonna bring you on. Come on in, sister. I can't even get past the
book. That's all right.
Come on in. Come on in. Podcast host, I just want you to introduce yourself to everyone. I've shared some things already, but just go ahead and say hello and greet the people, and just greet them and share a little bit about yourself. And we're gonna go ahead and jump into the book when you get finished.
Y'all know me.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I'm not good on introductions, but y'all know me. My book, I go by the name on Facebook, social media, and as an author, it's K Leavell for it. It's a combination of my father's last name and my mother's last name. Ministry runs on both sides of the family, so I just took the opportunity to bring the two names together so that I could honor both sides. Which, as we come down it's come down that bloodline on both sides. Just wanted to honor both sides and recognize how that call was coming. So I know a lot of people get confused with that name and stuff. I just wanted to put that in there. I'm still Nikki, but for social media purposes and stuff like that, I go by K Leavell Ford. Y'all know I have two children. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I of course got my little dog. That's my third dog. That's my third child. That's my baby. That's my baby. But I just love the Lord. And it is a blessing to be in his service and do his work, to answer to the call and just walk in it. You mentioned that you carry the book in your purse. I carry it right here in my heart, and there ain't a day that goes by that I ain't got to reach back in there and pull something out, because healing is a process. It's a process, and so one day you may be at the end of it, and then the next day you may be knocked back to square one, depending on where that sting comes from. So I just thank God for the paths that He allows us to uh, walk walk on, and the things that he allows us to encounter, because it all works for our good, even the
Yeah.
bad. It all works
Yes.
for our good. So I'm thankful
Mm-hmm.
for that, because without those experiences, you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be able to hold that book in your hand.
Mm.
So I
That's
thank God for the
true.
testing and the
Mm.
trials. David said it was good for me that I was afflicted. So
Yes.
I thank God for the afflictions, because if it weren't for the afflictions,
Mm.
I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't be able to testify to the goodness of God, and his willingness to bring us out of the things that were designed by the enemy to hold us back.
Mm. Mm.
So
Yeah.
thankful for that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm already writing down some stuff. So when you start talking, okay, the nuggets just start to flow. One thing that you said, Nikki, and we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. You said that even the bad works together for our good. And one thing, when you said that, I said oftentimes in those what we consider to be bad moments, we can't always see how God is working those things together for our good. I want you to share with us the how the book came about. I know that you said that you carry it in your heart and stuff or whatever. We would have never even imagined that this is what was going to be birthed. I'm sure when you were going through whatever the testimonies or the tests, the trials or tribulations that you were enduring or whatnot, to know that this was going to be something that everybody was going to be able to take and be able
Right.
to use it as a resource, as something that they could go to realize, okay, this is natural, this is a normal part of the process, the healing process. And so when we talk about healing and stuff, I love it so much, because oftentimes when we're in the thick of it all, we can't see the other side.
That's right.
Oftentimes we can't even imagine it. So tell me where, okay, first let me tell them the book is called Bruised Hearts and Fractured Souls. I think I mentioned it already, and it's Identify the Root. I want you to tell them how the book came about, because this is the good right here. This is the good, because even in the midst of it all, we're talking about how love doesn't hurt. This is nobody but God. So if you read this book, you're gonna be reading about him. You're gonna get him all the way in and through it. It's such an easy read. But Nikki, I want you to just kind of tell them, like, where did this birth from? Where did this come from when it comes to you?
Well, um, actually, I guess it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I'd had a year where the Lord had sent me to Virginia for a season, and while I was up there, I was coming back and forth, back to my home in Kentucky, and checking on the house and all that stuff, and managing things here. But during those drives back and forth along the interstate, it's like a 10-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my conversations with God. And on one particular drive, he began to download book titles.
Mm.
And I was like, when he was downloading these book titles, I ain't never ever thought nothing about books or nothing like that. But he was downloading book titles. And so I was driving, and it was like I had like eight of them, eight,
Mm.
eight or nine of them that were listed. And so I couldn't text it in my phone.
Yeah.
I had to use the voice thing to log this stuff in the phone. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let that sit there. So that's about, let's say, about 6 years ago, something like that. It's 2018, 4 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Y'all do the math.
Mm-hmm. I remember. You fine? Yeah.
Okay, so I came back home, and what had happened was, while I was in Virginia, um, the Lord He still has not revealed totally uh, my why I had to go there. Not
Mm.
totally, but
Yeah.
while I was there, I suffered a really bad heart wound. It was very
Mm.
traumatic,
Yeah.
very traumatic, and it broke me. It
Mm.
completely broke me. And I'll just say it, because we always want to be secretive, and we want to keep things in this little box, and we won't say
Mhm.
this, we won't say that. But I'm just gonna say it. I had a really bad father wound, a very
Mhm.
bad father wound,
Mhm.
and It broke me. And so I struggled with healing from that wound. I struggled
Mhm.
with forgiveness from that wound. I
Yeah.
struggled with trying to move on. I struggled with trying to look this person in the face uh, when they would come and visit, and I
Mhm.
knew how they had treated me when no one was around, and so um, I went through 2 or 3 years of dealing with that.
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
think that I was over it. You pop up in town, and it was
Mhm.
it was just like somebody was stabbing me with a knife.
Yeah.
So what had happened was I had a conversation with my mentor, and she's in Charlotte, South Carolina, and or North Carolina, sorry. And she had a meeting where we did some kind of root digging, kind of like
Mhm.
processing our hurts, processing our pains, the things that we're holding on to. And in that moment, we had this, it was like I had this aha, because what she had us to do was she had us to write down, you write down what hurts you right now.
Mhm.
Write down the lie that the enemy has told you in the midst of this hurt. And then the third thing was, she said, now go back to when you first heard this lie. And the lie wasn't heard for me, Nikki. The lie wasn't heard 3 years ago. The lie was heard when I was a child.
Mm. Mm.
So here I was um, carrying this rejection and this abandonment because
Mhm.
my father was not in my life as a child.
Mhm.
So anytime that he would come, it's pick me, see me, love me, choose me, daddy, daddy, here I am. And
Mhm.
so in my adult years, when I was up there, because that's where he resides, is in Virginia, um, I suffered the wound, and it took me back to little Nikki as a little girl.
Mhm.
And so we had to process that. And as we worked through that, because I never knew, you don't know what you're holding on to until you start to look at that thing and
Mhm.
really look at that thing and break that thing down to its root cause.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mentioned, and there's a quote that goes around on social media that says something about, I sat with my anger long
Oh
enough
yeah,
until
I
she
was gonna
told
get to
me.
that. Yeah, that was
Okay.
good. That was really good. Go ahead, because that's fine. I had it highlighted. Tell
Okay.
them what it is again. I'm gonna type it.
I sat with my anger long enough until she told
Mm.
me her name was grief.
Mm. That's it.
And my anger, it wasn't that I was angry at my dad, but I was grieving the loss of that
Yep.
relationship.
Mhm.
And so I'm mad because I ain't have my daddy in my life, but I'm sad because I didn't have my daddy in my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
so that's where that book come from. And what was funny is all of those downloads that God was giving me as I was driving down that interstate were chapters.
Yeah. Ooh. Mm.
They
Mm.
were
Mm.
chapters. I didn't know what they were. And I hadn't even encountered the wound. I didn't get the wound until my last day in Virginia. That's when the
Yeah.
wound came.
Wow.
The chapters and the downloads of the chapters came before that. I had them logged in my
Mm.
phone and dated. So I guess God, which God does know, He know what's coming, and I guess He knew that eventually this is what
He
it
was
was going to
preparing
be,
you.
preparing
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
There was no desire to write a book. There was no desire to be I wasn't thinking about none of this stuff. I doing my YouTube videos and teaching on end time, and that was, you know,
Yeah.
evangelize here and there, and that was good enough for me. But it was like, no, you're gonna write this, because we carry things.
Mhm.
We carry,
Yeah.
and some things we're not supposed to carry. We're just
Mhm.
not supposed to. And
Mhm.
we do it out of habit, and we do it because I'll say, because of me. um, I didn't have anybody to come in and say, hey, you can get through this. Don't worry about this. This is how you handle
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
I didn't grow up with my dad either, or, stuff you did. There's no guidance. There's
Yeah.
nobody to walk you through the pain. Now, I can't
Mhm.
take your pain away. God
Exactly.
takes your pain away, but I
Mhm.
can lead you to Him. I
That's
can
it.
lead you to Him, and we
Mhm.
can walk them steps. Get
Yeah.
down to the root of the thing. What is the root of your pain? What is the source? Because
Mhm.
what happens is, and I want to tell you, I got sick. I got
Mm,
terribly, terribly sick. And I remember you sending me, I stayed sick. And you sent me this
mm,
video.
mm, mm,
I
mm.
stayed sick. And I was sick because I was mad. I was
I
bitter.
remember. Mm,
Bitterness causes sickness. But
come
I was
on.
thinking in my mind, I've forgiven everybody.
Mm,
There's not anybody that I need to forgive. I've forgiven everybody. God, I forgive them. Yeah, but if somebody brings their name up,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I'm gonna feel some
mm-hmm.
type of way.
That's it. That's it.
So
Mm,
you sent me that video, and I was like, gosh,
mm,
man, okay, Lord, I
wow.
gotta forgive again. And
Mhm.
even now, I'm in a good space. I have
Yeah.
forgiven. I can hold a conversation with my father. I can text him, but I
Mhm.
have a boundary set because I understand that even though I am healed, I can't let you come back in
And,
here
woo,
and do this again.
come
And
on.
it's not even him, it's
Mm-mm.
the spirit behind the situation.
Exactly. Woo.
So I have to be spiritually smart and keen and able to discern if someone says, "Hey, your dad's coming in town," or if dad says, "Hey, I'm coming in town to visit," I have to have my discernment to on. It's got to be on so that I know whether or not I can handle a conversation or a
Exactly.
visit.
Because we change from day to day, and that's just the reality. And you said a one key word that I truly believe in, like wholeheartedly, is boundaries. And
Mhm.
oftentimes, because we can be people pleasers, we feel like we have to accommodate everybody else, and
Mhm.
so we often let those boundaries down, and we actually expose ourselves to more hurt
Absolutely.
along the way,
Absolutely.
because we're trying to accommodate and take care of everyone else other than our own needs. But I
Mhm.
want to get, because you look, I didn't even want to talk. I don't want to say nothing. I just want to let you go. But I'm gonna tell you this. Okay, so look, we gotta get some of these points, because I'm telling you, this book is fire. I want you guys. Okay, what I love about this book, Nikki, and I was sitting here before we even got on, it's such a, it's an easy read, but it's so impactful. And the words that's in this book, when I say this, like this could be like a whole, every this needs to be like a whole conversation for each chapter, because it's so much packed in there. However, it's a lot of stuff that we don't often think about when it comes to getting to the root of some things. And one thing that you said, and even for me, one thing that you said when we talk about getting to the root, and this has been part of my process as well too, you mentioned the rejection and the
Mhm.
abandonment.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, the biggest issue that we find ourselves struggling with comes from the root of those two things. Something that has happened to us as a young child, or somewhere in those early years, that we've had to experience that hurt in such a way that it's left that residue or that lasting effect on our hearts. And you, it's so much in here that I've highlighted. But when you said, and you talked about how oftentimes we can assume that we are over whatever it is,
Mhm.
until that name or that situation or that circumstance is brought back up, and it can literally send you on a spiral and take you right back. I had to literally, when I read about this in here, I had to literally pray and ask God to reveal what the root of my pain was, and why it was such a struggle for me to deal with. I mean, everybody knows I'm going through this separation and stuff, but my thing was, why am I hurting the way that I am? Because it was a different type of hurt. It
Mhm.
wasn't like a surface hurt. It was something that was deep down in there. And
Yep.
it really, I'm looking at one thing, like, how in the world could this be? But it was when I took the time to get to the root of the why. Why is this hurting me the way that it's
Yes.
hurting me?
Yep.
Why am I responding? Because this is not me. Why do I feel like I'm not dealing with life or with this situation at the very best of my ability? Because I had literally, and this is what I'm hearing from you, it's never been dealt with. So we go through life, and every single time something happens, it only continues to stack on top of it more and more and more, until we're that Coke bottle where we burst and we cannot take
Mhm.
or hold anymore. So
Yep.
when that Coke bottle is shaking for X amount of time, and if you pop the top, there's going to be an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
That explosion for me was an explosion of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
That I could not figure out, like, how in the world am I going to like, what's going on? I got to get to something
Mm-hmm.
that you put in here. So let me do this, Nikki. Look, y'all be laughing at me, but this book is all marked up. I'm not ashamed. I'm telling you,
I do the same thing with mine.
it's that good. I am not
Put
ashamed
little
of
notes
it.
in there and everything.
Yes. So I want to read this because this is so important. If it's okay with you, the pain. I want to read this particular piece as it relates to pain, because oftentimes we don't even understand what pain truly is. And I love how you define these things or whatever too. Y'all, even the chapters, look, the chapters in and of itself, before I define pain, let me tell you what you're going to learn about in this book. Again, bruised hearts and fractured souls. Let me read the chapters. I'm just going to tell you the names of the chapters, because I'm telling you, I can guarantee everybody can find yourself in this book. Same way I read it one time, but God knew what I needed. I'm sitting here at my desk, and this is what was in front of me. Okay. The introduction of pain. We're going to talk about that. How dare you? That's one of the chapters. And I'm thinking about you talking about riding down the road, and he's giving you the girl. This is bruises of the heart. I want to talk about that because oftentimes we don't even know what the bruises mean and what they even look like. Contaminated roots, unexpected occurrences, the bigger person, the fractured soul, bitterness of soul, and highway to healing. The titles of the chapters alone bless me, because I'm sitting here like, it depends on where you at. You can go to whatever chapter you need in that particular moment and find exactly what you need out of that chapter. This right here, I'm telling you. So let's talk about the pain. We're going to talk about some pain.
Mm-hmm.
You put in the book pain, you put pain. We all have felt this discomfort, and some of us in every possible aspect that it can be delivered. Pain comes in many forms. We learn physical pain from an early age, whether it was our first spank on the bottom after being delivered. That's powerful. Our first bellyache, or the first time we fell off our bikes. Depending on the circumstances, that physical pain was short-lived, and we healed from it and moved on. Now, this is right here. This is where we at right here. However, another aspect of pain is emotional pain. Baby, that emotional pain will do you in if you're not strapped and prepared and ready to go. This pain is a pain that we sometimes harbor within us for an undetermined amount of time. Sometimes we may be aware of it and just can't let it go. Other times we carry it unaware, allowing it to spill over into other areas and aspects of our lives. Regardless of our acknowledgement of it or not, pain can render us paralyzed, unable to move forward in life with purpose. Look, that right there, regardless of our acknowledgement of it or not, pain can render us paralyzed, unable to move forward in life with purpose. Nikki, please tell them what your thought process was as it relates to this, because that to me was so powerful just in and of itself. We recognize that we are all here for a purpose, to serve a purpose. But just the fact that we acknowledge how pain can keep us from fulfilling the purpose that we are here. Please share with them what that piece was about for me, please.
Well, the emotional pain you can't necessarily see.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't know I was emotionally in turmoil unless I was boohoo crying and just hair in a disarray or whatever, clothes disheveled. That's the only way you would know something was going on. But we put on our mask and our best, whatever, dress up this flesh and make it look good, and we'll put on our face so that people can't tell what we're going through. But that on the inside of us, that emotional pain is eating us up. We
Yeah.
ain't eating, we ain't sleeping. Every thought is why or when or how or what. When, Lord? Why,
Mm,
Lord?
mm,
Take it away, Lord. And
yeah.
I don't. If we could, I think I'd rather be cut than
Mm,
than to deal with emotional pain, because at least with a cut I can get some neosporin,
exactly.
and I can put a
Yeah.
little band-aid on that thing,
Yeah.
and in 10-20 minutes
Physical. Yeah.
it ain't gonna hurt no more. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's gonna, but
Mm,
that emotional pain, that stuff you got to sit with it. You sit with it. It's there when you lay down, it's there when you get up, it's there as you go about your day.
yeah.
And depending on whatever your pain is from, whether it's grief, whether it's divorce, whether it's from being sick, loss of job, or anything, whatever it is from, you
Mm-hmm.
can't get past that emotional pain. It just, you have to sit with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's an uncomfortable, it's an uncomfortable feeling. It's like, Lord, I don't want to think
Yeah.
about this. I don't want
Mm,
to think about this. I don't
mm,
want to hurt no more. And I don't want to think about it because it hurts, number one. And number two,
yes.
I don't want to think about it because it happened. I just don't want to think about it. Can you erase this portion of my life? Can you just take
Girl.
this little piece of my life,
Yes. Oh
this
my
little piece of
goodness.
pain? Can you just draw this out of my brain and take it and toss it over there somewhere so I
Wow.
can,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah.
fool with it
Mm-mm.
because it hurts.
Mm.
But
Mm-mm.
it's supposed to hurt.
Wow. Yeah.
Whether that pain is from something that we have done, or
Mm-hmm.
whether that pain is from something that someone else has done to us, it's supposed to hurt.
Mm.
And it's supposed to hurt so that it teaches us
Mm.
what not to do or what to do. Okay, this hurts. Now what you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's going to be your posture, because you're hurting? Okay, you guys, you sitting here whining to me, but you already know what you're supposed to do. You got the power
Mm-hmm.
within you. You know what you're supposed to do. Why don't you just do it? Stop
Mm-hmm.
whining. Stop putting a complaint on
Mm-hmm.
your lips. Get up and pray yourself through this thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know. But it's very painful. That emotional pain is. I don't go through nothing. I want it be stuff that I'd be like, and I know y'all have heard me talk about it. It's like, I'm my boys get ready to graduate, and it's some things I just don't even want to deal with. I don't deal with it because
Yeah.
that's gonna hurt me.
Yeah.
He had a senior night here recently. I ain't want to go to it
Mm-hmm.
because I understand what that means. My
Yeah.
boy is finna graduate. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
see it, because if I don't see it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not sad and in my feelings and crying and
Oh
trying to
yeah. Yeah.
stop time, because I can't stop
Yeah.
time. They
Wow.
gotta grow up.
Oh,
So
wait.
yes, the emotional pain, it's not pleasant, but we
Oh.
all have felt it. We sit
Mm-hmm.
with it. And the thing is, it's okay to sit with it, but you have to get to a point where you do something about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to do something with that emotional pain, because like you were saying a little while ago, it's like that Coke bottle. You're holding all of this energy inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
holding all of
Mm-hmm.
this energy inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
You are, we get hurt, somebody hurts us, somebody does something to us. If we weren't in Christ, we'd be swinging, we'd be throwing fists,
Mm-hmm.
we'd be busting
Girl.
windows out the car. That's what the world say, bust windows out the car. We doing drive-bys. We gonna hurt somebody.
All the
Somebody gonna
above. Yeah.
feel what
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling. And I had this motto in the world when I was in the world, which I wasn't out in it long, but when I was in the
Mm-hmm.
world, I had this motto when it came to being hurt. Now, I may not be able to physically hurt you, but I hit them pockets.
Mm. Come
That's
on.
old Nikki though.
Yeah.
I'm delivered, y'all.
Yeah. Deliverance is a beautiful thing.
Now I put you in
We gonna
God's
get the
hands. I let God
pockets.
deal with you. But you know what? We sit with it, and I tell you, we sit with it. And if you've been hurt by somebody, you may see them go on with life and get blessed. They may pop up with a new house, or they may pop up with a new car. They may pop up with
Come on.
a new wife or whatever, and it appears
Ooh,
as
wait.
if they're living their best life.
Come on.
But God is not mocked. God
Mm.
is not mocked.
Come
They
on.
may have a reward right now. That is their reward. But that ain't
Mm.
from God. God ain't stamped none of that. Okay. And
Ooh-wee.
I think that sometimes we because with women especially,
Yeah.
we have to sit with our pain. If we have
Yeah.
children, we have to sit with our pain. We can't go out in the and do what we want to do and be buck
Yeah.
wild and just bring anybody around and do all that stuff. We can't do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we have a responsibility to the children. We have a responsibility before God. You know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
we have to sit and process, things other that,
Mhm.
and I'm speaking here in relationships, marriages, divorces, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Women have to sit with things. We
Mhm.
have to sit with things,
Yeah.
responsibilities. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Health. You
Literally.
know what I'm
Literally.
saying?
Mhm.
Kids need this. Cooking, making sure that they got a roof over their head, making sure they got
Yeah.
shoes, making sure,
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love that you said that in reference to talking about the help and stuff, because in that last chapter with the highway to healing, I just love that. And forgiveness is for you. Highway to healing, forgiveness is for you. And
yes.
oftentimes we fail to realize, and one of the things I know that I'm just skipping all around
Oh, you're fine.
when you were talking about, of course, acknowledging some things in us or whatever. um First and foremost, one of the things that I think is so important is the acknowledging piece, because oftentimes we get so caught up and we can look at what it was or what the source of the pain was, but we have to make sure that we're doing the inner work. And when I was reading that and what you were talking about, Psalm 51 came to mind when he talks about creating me a clean heart. And I got to a place, and I don't know, this is a transparent platform and stuff, but I got to a place where you talk about Hannah in here as well too. You talk about a lot, look at some good stuff up in here, I'm telling you. But that moment where she literally had to flush it all out. And
Mm-hmm.
you said that oftentimes we get caught up on her womb being open, but there was some healing that took place. But
Yeah.
the healing came after she was willing to remove the mask and
Yeah.
be real, be raw, and be open and honest with God about her feelings and everything. And you said something very important. I think you said it earlier about how oftentimes we go through and we'll try to hide whatever. We'll put on the mask and we'll put on the face. But you know what? After so long, and when you said that it can make you sick, it can start to do some things where even though you may think that your mask is on point, you
Mm-hmm.
don't even realize when you have others that are able to see beyond the surface,
Mm-hmm.
that exactly all that's being revealed. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you talk about that and you talk about talking about things, it's okay. You say it's okay to get professional help, a spiritual counselor, professional therapist, psychologist. We talked about these things kind of before on a couple of other, even a psychiatrist. But the one thing that you said, number 4, was forgive. Forgiveness is like the key to so many things. Number one, it can hinder us and keep us from our blessings, but it also can create unforgiveness, can also create more than what we really want to have to deal with, because the more it sits and festers, the more damage is being done.
That's right.
When you talk about the emotional pain, walking around feeling as if you have a broken heart, and that brokenness, that feeling, I can't even put it into words. It was just a feeling, literally feeling your heart broken in a sense, and
Mm-hmm.
not knowing what to do with it. Now the doctors can prescribe you everything in the world, but guess what? Then I'm not saying it's okay. You do what you have to do to get through whatever season you're at.
Right.
But the fact that you are literally feeling, when we talk about emotional pain, feeling your heart broken
Mm-hmm.
on the inside. You
Mm-hmm.
were talking about something up here. Let me go back up here because I got off the bruises of the heart, Nikki. So this right here, you said whether your pain stems from the loss of a friendship or relationship, the loss of a loved one, divorce, or history of physical, mental, or emotional abuse, the only person who can guard the heart is you. A bruised heart is like the sting you feel when you think of a situation that has pained you. So tell them about when you were talking about that hurt that you feel. That's what I think about when I think about a bruised heart. Is the bruise is there,
Mhm.
even though it's there, you're not broken though. At least you can recover from it. But talk about the bruising of the heart. And you named all these different things, and there's still so many other ones that can cause the bruising of the heart. But tell them like where the concept of the bruised heart. I love how you shared about the fruit. I'm gonna let you talk about that, the illustration that you use, because that was absolutely beautiful. Oftentimes we don't even consider these as being bruises, like where the stem, the root of the bruise comes from. But please
Right.
share with them about that, because I want you to talk. I want you to tell
And Bruce, oh my, now I'm gonna have to, now I'm gonna have to think. Let me draw.
you want me to read some? I don't want to read out because I want them to buy your book. So I'm only
Right.
the little plugs. I need them to go get it because it's
The
really worth it.
the bruise the excuse me, the bruising is those are the little things that happen, the
Mhm.
little things that can eventually turn into big things. Okay, the bruises, it may be words that are said,
Yeah.
it may be a action that is done. You know, somebody may do something that hurts you. You know, okay, you know, it bruises a little bit.
Hmm.
There's a little bit of a sting there. um I can say with me the things that come to mind. When I went through, I went through divorce before. When I went through the divorce, there were certain places that I could not go.
Yeah.
There were certain songs that I could not listen to.
Mm.
There were certain TV shows or movies that I could not, and to this day I
Yeah.
will not watch because it's
Hmm.
going to trigger a memory. And that bruise is still that bruise. You know, those little things. That's what I call bruises. They
Yes.
go away. They go
Hmm.
away. You
Hmm.
know, bruises go away. They don't stay. But you know, if you get hit there again in that spot again, that bruise is
Yes.
gonna come back. So
Hmm.
I can remember there were certain I had like different, I had certain routes that I would drive. There were
Hmm.
certain routes that I couldn't drive for a period of time. I can do
Yeah.
it now because I'm
Yeah.
healed in that area.
Yeah.
There were certain restaurants that I would not go in because I knew they played a particular station that was going to play a particular song.
Mm-hmm.
And if I heard the song, oh, you can hang
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
I'm at square one.
Mm.
So those are the bruises. Those are the little, they're the little areas that they they heal, but
Mm-hmm.
something can trigger it to come back again. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
That's what
Um,
Yolanda said. Some can last longer than others.
yes, yes,
Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely.
And I love how you said that the bruises, they are intended. That's what they do. They're there for a while, but when they're there, they painful. They
They
painful.
are. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we can re-injure the bruise as well
Mm-hmm.
too. So
Mm-hmm.
when you say that you have to be mindful, or you have to be mindful of the routes you took or the things that you took in, the
Yes.
the things that you watch or whatever, these things may seem so small, but just like any other bruise, like a physical bruise, if you re-injure it, it's only going to spread and start
Mm-hmm.
to hurt even worse. And
Mm-hmm.
you right back, like you said, to square one. I want to
Mm-hmm.
read something that you put here. The initial injury to our hearts causes us to feel intense pain and discomfort to the point that we feel as if we cannot bear it. If
Mm-hmm.
we don't quickly address the bruised areas of our heart, we risk the effects of those bruises potentially contaminating the rest of our heart and even other areas of our body.
That's
When,
right.
when something becomes contaminated, it requires deep cleansing in order to be restored to its girl. This book, when I say, man, I got this whole chapter highlighted. But if we, it's just so much. Okay, when that happens, we can, when talking about the deep cleansing, it can, okay, but if we address the affected area promptly, we eliminate any room for additional tainted growth. When
Yes.
that happens, we can move on and live our life fulfilling God's purpose for us.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki. So that day when I picked up this book and it's sitting on my desk, and I was having a day, a moment, a real moment or whatever in that time. When I say I picked up this book and I started reading this, and I was like, I don't remember this being in here. But it was so true. And I'm literally reading and I'm like, oh my goodness. And the word, well, you know me, purpose is everything for me. Like, I'm here for a reason.
That's right.
I'm getting ready to let this thing take me up out of here.
That's it.
I'm not able to, I have not been moving forward in the things that God has planted me here to be able to do, because I've been so caught up in whatever this emotional sting has been that has kept me bound for so long. It was like a breath of fresh air. And you remember I text you and I'm sitting here thinking, I don't remember all this being in here before. It even came down to when you talk about people telling you to just get over it. I want you to talk about that thing right there. Because people, and it's grieving again, it's a grieving process a lot of times whenever it comes to whatever that thing may be. But your timeline may not look, everybody is different. And one thing I can appreciate, and we had this come, you sent me a message yesterday, and what you said it blessed me completely, because oftentimes you don't feel like people really understand because they want you to be where they expect you to be at.
Mm-hmm.
But you said something that was very, very, it blessed me completely when you said, you do not have to apologize for how you choose to heal.
Absolutely. I make no apologies. And I don't expect anybody else to make any apologies, because when life hits, and you're the one who has to walk through that valley. It's just you and God. Them people ain't holding your hand. Them people ain't paying. Let me stop, because I get to fussing and go off into a tangent. But it's you and God. So you don't apologize. You don't ever have to apologize for the way that you chose to heal. If that meant you had to cut some folk off, if that meant that you couldn't go certain places, if that meant you couldn't do certain things, participate in certain things, if you lashed out at somebody at some point in time, now you may want to go back and correct a little bit of that. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come at you like I did. I meant what I said, but I didn't mean to come at you the way that I did. But you don't have to apologize for the way that you chose to heal, because that was your healing. That was your breakthrough. And that's going to be your testimony. And you're going to be able to tell that to the next person who's walking through that valley, because somebody else is going to walk through it. Somebody else is going to encounter that pain. Somebody else is going to have to find a way out. And you're going to be there to give them some words and then say, hey, when you get through, I'm here. When you get done, when you feeling better, when you come on the other side of this, because you gonna come on the other side of this.
Yeah.
When you come on and see, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. We don't have enough people there to say it's going to be okay. You're going to get through this.
Yeah.
I ain't had nobody.
Yeah.
The Lord was sending angels in my bedroom to refresh me, because I didn't have anybody. But then again, I didn't open my mouth. Well, no, I take that back, because there were certain people that I did tell, and it was, you need to get over it. What you want what you want them back for? You shouldn't be crying over them. They was telling me I shouldn't be making such a big deal out of it. How you gonna tell me how to feel?
That just gets me. Yeah, yeah.
How you gonna tell me how to feel?
Yeah.
You're not feeling this. You're not dealing with this pain. And then, and what's the funny part about it is, they weren't in that situation at that time. The person who had told me this, get over it, move on, get past it,
Yeah.
They end up a year later going through the same thing, and they was just toe up, boo-hoo, crying, parked down at the river, ready to drive into the river. Wait a minute, didn't you just gave me a speech a year ago telling me
Yeah.
to get over it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
over here
Mm.
I almost lost my mind.
Yeah. That part. And I think
I
that it's,
almost
go
lost my
ahead.
mind.
Yeah. I think that oftentimes we fail to realize, and because, one thing that I love about Jesus so much is just how compassionate he was. And we lose that. We fail a lot of times miserably. And it's not until we find ourselves in that place or that situation, like you
Yep.
said, it wasn't until like a year later, whatever
Mm-hmm.
that situation was.
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes I always say we can never put a time frame or a stamp on anybody's healing process or what it should look like, because
Absolutely.
we may see something is like, okay, I don't know, is it for you or is it more for me? Do you want me to be in that place so that you feel better? Or
Right.
is it
That's exactly
you
it.
see what I'm saying? And
That's
that's what
exactly what
that's
it
what
is.
okay, so that's what I was thinking about when I was like, Lord, you just are so good, because I'm sitting here reading and I said, you know what? Oftentimes that it's not even about us. It's not a concern about us.
Mm-mm.
It's really not even about us at all,
Right.
and when they
Right.
tell you to get over it and this and
Mm-hmm.
the other whatever
Mm-hmm.
else, it's simply because nobody ever would truly know all the and dynamics and the factors that have to come into play with whatever it is that you are
That's right.
trusting God to bring you out of, to
Mm-hmm.
deliver you from, to heal your heart in whatever way, shape, form, or fashion. Because, like you said, whether it's a loss of a relationship, whether it's a loss of a family member or a near dear, friend, it could be a loss of a career. Look, the way our puppies are when it comes to them being family and stuff or whatever, people deal with life in their own way. Look,
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
just here to tell you, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to this healing process,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes we fail to realize that the pains of life, um, when I was battling cancer, Nikki, I'm gonna put it like this. I was going through a season, and in that moment, I wasn't married. I'm still trying to get, a stability for me and my kids. And
Mm-hmm.
here I am battling cancer, and I'm feeling like pieces of me are just falling left and right. Oh, first I got to have this total hysterectomy. Then, got this cancer in my thyroid and in my neck and lymph nodes. Oh, they just taking pieces of me left, right, and everything.
Right.
All
Mm-hmm.
of this as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You got your female reproductive organs
Mm-hmm.
and all these things coming into play. And y'all know I'm bringing this up because I know that you are RN as well too.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got your thyroid that, well, I don't have it anymore because of the can. But all of these things come into play, and you're trying to figure out all of these emotions, and you're trying to deal with everything. Nikki, I have never felt like I was completely losing myself for such a long time than I had. And then come to find out that the depression, anxiety, and all these other things are tied into when your thyroid levels are completely haywire and
Mm-hmm.
there's no sense of balance at all. So not
Mm-hmm.
only are you not balanced physically, you're not balanced emotionally, you're not balanced mentally, you're not balanced in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So when I made that decision last year, and it was right there when I felt like I was at the end of my rope, I said, I'm not taking nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking it. Something, my body is not cooperating. Something is off. So therefore, everything's being put on hold. Now, I didn't realize at the time I was about to put myself somewhere in probably an early grave because I ain't got no thyroid and I need some thyroid hormones or something. But I was mad. I was like, that's it. Now, doggone it, I'm tired of feeling
Yeah. Yeah. You need, if you don't take
it's
nothing else, you
like,
need to take that one.
well, yeah, that's what she was like, honey. We sending you to Nashville. Your body is in complete total shutdown. I'm like, what? I'm not. Look, this is me trusting God, literally stepping out like, God, it's me and you. I am not gonna keep walking around here feeling like I'm on an emotional roller coaster. Something is not
Right.
right, and my body is not responding the way that it's supposed to be. So it was just like a clean slate. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest, it was the best thing I could have ever done. She told me, go ahead, if just take the thyroid medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And Nikki, all that other stuff, when I gave it to him and I said, I'm giving this to you, I'm gonna step out. I'm not taking nothing else. The one thing I know that I had to take, it has literally been like a total, like my life, trusting him with it
That's right.
and allowing myself to be led by Holy Spirit and doing what was necessary. But Nikki, when it comes to all the feelings and emotions and the medical impact, when it comes to the things that your body is trying to tell you as a woman, I know we're almost at the time. Please tell them a little bit as it relates to those things. Oh no. Uh-oh, I don't even know what to expect.
I y'all take your medicine. But trust God. Excuse me. It's important that we take care of our bodies.
Yeah.
It's very important that we take care of our bodies. It's very important that we listen to our bodies. We know when our bodies are off. We know when something is not right. I too last year came off of a lot of medicine. Girl, it was Walgreens pharmacy all up in my cabinet. You hear me?
It was like a light bulb just went off for you.
If it was something that y'all needed, I probably had it. I opened that cabinet one day and I said, I'm not taking all this med. I'm too young to be taking a pill to get up, a pill to go to sleep, a pill in the middle of the day just in case the pill at night and in the morning didn't work. And then it's like eating a pack of Skittles.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
And your body don't know what to do.
Your body don't know what it's doing this, and then you want it to flip flop and do something else, and then let's take care of this over here, and they all just clashing with each other. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And like you, I told God, I'm going to trust you to get my body in order, to get whatever needs to be fixed. And listen, I was taking medicine for neuropathy, for my leg and stuff like that. When I come off of that medicine, my leg stopped hurting.
Wow.
It was almost as if the medicine was causing the pain to continue. Like, okay, it's hurting, so you're gonna take more. The more I come off the medicine, the neuropathy stopped. I stopped taking a lot of that stuff, and I started just kind of just being in tune, with my body. And some days I would eat, some days I would not eat, depending on how the Lord led me. I try to make better choices. Wintertime, not so good. I just ate half a chest cake today, y'all. Tomorrow I'm gonna eat salad though. So it's gonna be okay.
Oh mercy. It sounds good.
I had empanadas too. I'm trying to perfect that. So I had some empanadas too. But tomorrow I'm gonna eat a salad because it's balanced. But take care of your bodies, y'all. Listen to your bodies. Because believe it or not, your health, the weight that is on our bodies, and I can talk because I didn't put on weight. Wintertime, I always put on weight. But the weight on our bodies, it messes with, it can mess with our emotions and our chemical imbalances as well. So you find yourself getting anxious. You find yourself getting depressed. If you find yourself shifting more towards a whole bunch of sweets, ice cream, cakes, cookies, candy bars, look and see if there's something you may be sad about, because I use food to comfort me. I'm going. I want
at a house at home.
I got a Dairy Queen that's a half a mile up the street from my house. They got some blizzards, and on any given day, if I just get sad, I might ride up there again. But I'm in a good space now, so I just ate chest cake, so I feel like I'm okay because I'm not gonna eat no more tonight. So I'm gonna try not to. Because I'm not sad. It's just that it's good.
It's good. It's just that it's good. Well, I'm going to just be honest, honey. I didn't share pictures before, baby. I was eating like I didn't know no better. And look, it was all to try to fill a void. So when we're talking about this, that's a side effect. That's one of the things that that's how we try to comfort whatever it is that we're feeling deep down on the inside. And honestly and truly, it does more harm than good for us
Absolutely.
in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love the fact that we have this one right here, but I'm super excited because there is a sequel that's coming, right?
Yes, that one is part one of three. It's a three-part series, and it is an analogy. People are considered that we're spoken of as trees in the Bible. It
Mm.
said Psalms 1 says, "And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that
Mhm.
bringeth forth fruit in its
In the
season."
season.
So
In its season.
we have a three-part series, and we're starting with the root. The second book goes into the stem or the trunk.
Ooh.
Then we'll finish it out with the third part, the blossom, the tree, the leaves, the fruit, and all of that stuff. The I'm here and
Go.
wonderful and all of that. The second book will
I
be
like
out
it. That's
soon.
good. Okay, okay. So tell them where they can get this one though. This right here, and like I said before, this book is just look, y'all. It doesn't matter the type of hurt or bruising that may be there. This applies to anything. So with that being said, tell them where they can find this. Now, I know you mentioned on Amazon, and it's under your name right here.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes, that book is on Amazon, and just plug in K Level Fort and it will come up. And then all of my new releases after that, I will post on my Facebook page initially, but they will also be through Amazon as well. You'll be able to get them there. But when the new ones come out, I'll have copies on hand. That's normally what I'll do with the new ones, where you'll be able to get them. I can mail them to you or something like that. But for this book, this particular book, the first book one of the series,
Mm-hmm.
it's on Amazon.
Okay. One more thing before we go. You have a YouTube where you're doing end time teaching, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. When can they get on there, or where can they find that?
YouTube. That is the title of my YouTube page is The Spotted Bride with K Level Fort. If you type in The Spotted Bride, I should come up. Otherwise, you could type in K Level Fort and it should come up.
Okay.
And that one does end time teachings as well as any type of prophetic things that the Lord releases me
Mm.
concerning, our nation and stuff like that. So there's already a material on there.
Mm-hmm.
And here in the month of February, as a matter of fact, this week we're going to start back up the teachings of the end times because, as y'all have seen, things have kind of
Yeah.
ramped up in
Yeah.
our nation, in the world. All of this craziness that's going on that ain't so crazy if you read that word, because God
Mm.
said that it was going to happen. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Okay.
yes,
All right. So this is look, y'all. This is my cousin Nikki. And y'all go to Amazon and get this book. I don't care if you don't need it right now. Look, it's good to have. It's an awesome book to have. Whether you need it right now, you just don't ever know where your journey may lead you. But more than anything, you don't know if someone else needs this. This is something that you need to keep on your bookshelf. So when the kids come up and they have something that they're struggling with on the inside, and one thing that I love that you talk about removing the stigma when it comes to getting the help and stuff. This right here explains the reason why it's so necessary and why it's so important to go after those things. But Nikki, I just want to tell you thank you so much.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so honored to know the author personally, y'all. I already got my signed copy, and I'm gonna be looking forward to the next segment of this here series, which is the stem of it
Yes.
all. This is the roots. We're gonna deal with the stem, and I can't wait till we get to the fruit. Come on, somebody. Girl, that blesses me. So everything that you know what, this, thank you, Holy Spirit. Everything, when he says all things work together for the good of those who love him, Nikki, this is a prime example. What you're saying, you're taking us through the process, even through the book.
Yes.
Even though the roots may be difficult, maybe don't want to always deal with them because there's so much hurt there. We get to the stem, we making them baby steps, and we're getting on, and eventually that fruit is gonna come. This is fruit right here. This
Yeah.
is fruit. So if nobody has ever look, I just when I say baby, doing that thing. But if ain't nobody ever told you before, I just need you to know how much this has blessed me. I text you when I sat down. I bought this when you first released them. But the fact that it was something that God revealed and Holy Spirit led me back to when I needed it most, I'm telling you, it was at a point where I felt like the wind was being completely knocked out of me. And I started to read this and I was seeing myself, and it was like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's part
That's
of
it.
it. So, with that being said, I pray that you guys will get the book, get the book, get the book. I will drop, well, it's on Amazon. This is what it looks like. You know how to find it, and we will definitely let you know when the next one comes out. But Nikki, I just want to say thank you so much. Y'all, I get to text it whenever I want to, but maybe we can get on here and because I want to go through the different chapters. We're gonna have to figure something out because there's more that's in here. But with that being said, we just gonna let y'all go for now. But next time, maybe sooner rather than later, we will be here again. And we just say thank you, Nikki, so much. And folks, we're out of here. This is the Boss Lady Movement. I hope that somebody has been moved a little bit more as we're bringing women, bringing other sisters into success. I look forward to next Tuesday talk when we will have Elder Lakita Stevenson with us. She is coming on through, and I'm super excited. And that one right there, she got a testimony as well too. So hey, we're just gonna be open for everything. All right, so I'm gonna let y'all go. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Oh my